Episode of Axon's Facebook Live, the fortnightly interaction where you get everything ADF property, veteran entrepreneurship, transitions, you name it. I'm joined by my right-hand woman, my wife, the adjutant of the business, the amazing Tammy Turner. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
What's going on? Well, I live with you. We work together. I know what's going on, but tell me what's going on.
Everyone who is listening, make sure you say hi in the chat so we can see that you're there. Let us know where you're listening in from. And tonight, I really want some good questions. So
Good idea.
Bring on your questions.
Bring it on. You know, the first thing I noticed, Tammy, we saw a little bit of a slip from Mr. Herman, who's been number one for a couple of years now. And he's like, boom, I'm back, bitches. He didn't say that. That's me. I'm back.
He is. Oh, that's awesome. Good to see you, Kent. You're back in first place.
Yeah, he's a good Ken. He's a good Ken indeed. Now, mate, I just apologise for my eyes. I have not been on the piss. I've got plenty of sleep under my belt. With all the bloody wind around at the moment, I've had a couple of Zyrtecs, so I'm just trying to battle a little bit of watery eye syndrome. So apologies for that. No one really cares what my bloody eyes are like. Hey, I'll tell you what, we've got a bit of a serial person here with us at the moment. Jai Simmons is saying it. I'm not talking about you, brother, but this guy, Luke from the Gold Coast, he's a bit, mate. Luke, you should reach out at some stage one day, mate. I feel like you're trying to get a couple of questions answered there, mate. So we'll make sure we're definitely going to be here for you going forward. CJ Wins in the house. CJ, I'm tracking all of your stuff, brother. Damo's keeping me informed. Hopefully you got forwarded an email from Luke today. Let's see what transpires over the next 24 hours. And we'll go from there, mate. So I'm absolutely tracking everything for you. Sammy Wins in the house as well. I think those two are related somehow. They always tend to be on here at around about the same time, but probably like you and I, Tam, they're watching stuff from home, either sitting next to each other on their own devices, or he's in one room, she's in the other one. In fact, there's some beautiful, different sets of living rooms and rumpus rooms in those houses. So it probably doesn't matter.
I love they're big. They've got some beautiful windows that look out, and their lounge sits right in front of it and looks out of those beautiful big windows. Yeah. They won one of our photo competitions a little while back with the photo of their beautiful house, and it's got the big windows out the front upstairs. And I've seen some photos from the inside that they've posted before, and it's so stunning. Oh,
generally with their feet up on some sort of sofa.
Yeah.
Caitlin Wilkinson's in the house saying hello as well, and Sammy's like, yeah, he's just my mate. Hey, we had something pretty cool happen yesterday, didn't we?
We did. We decided to spoil the team. They've been working very hard, and I guess
what did we do?
It's probably because you really wanted to do this as well.
Yeah. Can I just take a moment? I'll let everyone know what we did.
Oh, God.
I feel the need for speed. Boom. We took the team to go and see Top Gun, the movie, and it was fucking awesome. Thank you, Tracy. You're onto it.
It was actually really good. It was actually much better than I thought. I knew it would be good, but there was also part of me thinking, how could it be better than the first one? And I really loved it, and it was actually really nice to go with the team and have that real bonding experience with each other, and to be able to talk about it like afterwards and then today.
Non-stop.
Oh, even some of the team are already talking about going and seeing it again. Yeah, it's awesome.
Let us know in the chat, team, who's seen it. Let us know who has seen Top Gun Maverick just yet.
Or if you're going to see it.
Yep. Are you on the way or not? Yeah, CJ's like, I paid for the views. I should have paid more. That's gold, mate. Caitlin's such a good movie, even though I was goose caught. Yes, well, here's a funny fact. Caitlin won't mind me saying this. She's probably one of the only, no spoilers, Sammy, I'm with you, buddy, but let me tell you, as a fucking massive Top Gun fan who have seen the original movie countless times, as opposed to Caitlin, who's seen it 0 times. So she saw the sequel before the original, which was interesting. But at least when you watch the original, Caitlin, you're like, oh, that's why that happened. That's why that happened. Oh, that's what they meant. Boom, boom, boom. So it's going to be interesting there. Yes, it was definitely worthwhile going to see, and I was really, really stoked with the team about how much they got into it afterwards. So, fuck, I lost my train of thought there, Tam. What was I talking about?
Don't give away any spoilers because you were
No, I
probably
won't.
about to give away a
Yes.
spoiler. That's probably why you can't think of your train of thought, is because you were going to spoil it for Miss Sammy and
No.
there's so many people that haven't watched it. But
tell us, Sammy and CJ, when are you planning on seeing it? So then I can draw off with you about it. Yeah, so that's what I was asking the team in the office today. I asked everybody, and I won't go through the answers, and nor will I give mine. I said, what was your favorite part about the movie? And certainly I got interesting answers from girls and guys respectively for the obvious reasons. But it was also some really, really thoughtful responses from everyone as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
There is a really good scene that I know you're gonna love, and all the girls in the office loved.
Yeah, it's reminiscence of the original. You know, you can't have playing with the boys fucking volleyball stuff with no shirts on without something similar. That's not a spoiler. That's a teaser.
Anyway, you'll know it when you see it. I'm like, that was my favorite scene.
Yes. Mate, you can watch SBS after 11 p.m. on any night of the week and fucking get better than that. Jesus, it was rubbish. It was absolute rubbish. Hey, yes, well, we've had an incredibly productive, I don't use the word busy, incredibly productive last fortnight. I was just doing a little tally. As some of you may or may not have seen my sort of my calendar, all of my client calls are staring me in the face in red. And I've done a 21 Zoom calls with clients since we spoke last Wednesday night. And I think I did another one after last Wednesday night, and I got the one to jump onto straight after this. So it's been a very, very
this is how we're actually catching up. We're just catching up on a Facebook Live
and we've moved houses. You and I have moved houses. So this is our first Facebook Live this is not the new forever home. We wouldn't have those diamond grills behind you, by the way, in the new home. It wouldn't suit the clientele. But yeah, it's been an incredibly productive time. What I've loved the most, and for those of you who have not joined me on one of those 21 calls or the last few calls over the last few weeks, you will not be privileged to what I'm about to say. With a couple of moving deck chairs and Axon over the last couple of months, we've had whilst it was difficult to consume whilst it was occurring, it's been the greatest blessing that this business has ever had, because it's allowed us to rejig a few things, look at a few processes with some fresh set of eyes, and basically improve things immensely that I didn't even think that we could improve. And those of you that have had a 10 out of 10 experience with us, amazing. There's fucking plenty more where that came from, with some fresh eyes in the business and you know, mouths, heads, and hearts, and respectively. Yeah. I have in the background, that has not been released to the public yet, I have been training our next coach. This I don't call him a him or a her when I'm pointing him out. I'll say this thing. When I release this thing to the market, you are all going to be like, holy fuck, I didn't think that Robbie had a little brother, but maybe he does. And I say that from a vanity perspective, but this thing is a fucking weapon from another planet. He's a him, her, they. Thank you, Natalie. When they come your way, he does have a penis and a set of balls, just for the record. So we're not talking about that. Anyway, the amount of passion and enthusiasm and knowledge and want and skill and desire to be able to pass on what Axon does, having gone through the process themselves, if you're talking about his wife as well, to be able to sit in my chair and be your coach down the track, like others have trod that path before. Far out. I'm so excited to release him to the public. I can't do it at the moment. He's doing a bit of OJT in the background as he does his own separation from his current employer. So yeah, this stand by, ladies and gents. There is something huge coming your way as far as Axon goes, and I can't wait to share it with all of you.
Very exciting. It's also been exciting. People moving around in the team, some promotions, some fresh team members, but also as you said, being able to having those fresh set of eyes. And I mean, we are like that anyway in terms of continuous improvement mindset for the whole business. But having fresh eyes is pretty amazing, because you just get that outsider. And sometimes when you're staring at something so closely, you can't see it. But then it takes, that step backwards, or that person, that fresh eyes to go, have you thought about doing it like this? Yeah, and it's been amazing.
Really, really good.
I'm really excited for what's to come.
Tammy, I need to take this jacket off and put my shirt on, so I'll be back in 1 second. But the other thing I want you to make a comment on is that when I got a jacket on, this is not the beach scene from Top Gun, but I'm not rolling anything on underneath this. Sorry, Christopher Williams, your virgin eyes were not supposed to see such skin in your first 5 seconds.
Here then. Stop.
But what I'm talking about that. Mum, we've had these for a few years, so I appreciate that. We do live in the Gold Coast. I don't wear it very often. This is my non-swearing fleecy top, by the way. I don't know if I've let one rip yet. You'll be happy to know, by the way. But Tammy, we don't just have you and I as husband and wife in the business anymore. We've got one other husband and wife working in the business, haven't we? Give everyone a bit of an idea about how that's been going so far.
We do. A few years ago, we were sort of talking about, whether it would be a good idea to have another couple work with us. And, obviously there's some pros and cons with anything like that. But we recently decided to give it a go. We decided, should I say who it is?
Yes, of course, of course.
James, that has been with us for a little while now, a few years now. His beautiful wife, Caitlin, who we've also known. We get to know our extended Axon family very well. Anyway, but yeah, we've known Caitlin for the last few years. And she had her little bubba a little while ago. He's
little Theodore.
Guess how old is he? 10 months old, maybe.
I'm not very good at that stuff.
And so she was really interested in joining our build support team. We did have an opening, and we decided to give the whole husband and wife team a go. They work in different departments, but I feel like having two people really both aligned to our values and what we're doing, and it's actually been amazing. Just to have two people from the same family, passionate about what they're doing. They're supportive of if James has to work, or if we need some balance. Like, they've been working really well. It's been amazing. And I did guess right. 10 months old. Woo.
Having one of the things that I love that Caitlin said when we do our Friday afternoon shout outs last week is that she said, so that sort of professional development that we get the team to do by reading a book or listening to a podcast or, listening to an Audible or something, that when James has been reading these professional development books over the last 18 months that she hasn't really been into, now that she wears this, she got no choice. Everyone's reading it, champ. So you're reading it too. You just got champ, Caitlin. Well, how good a fucking TikTok was that movie, by the way? So but to your credit, Caitlin, I know you're listening. You spoke from your heart with a small tear coming down your cheek, saying how much you're really enjoying the professional development books now that you are being encouraged, which is my nice way of saying forced to read the books. I've loved it, mate. I really, really love it. Luke, when you get a chance to have a consultation with us, mate, we might pass on some of these things, but let's just focus on the property bit first and foremost, mate. But yeah, so it wasn't a Tam. It was a wonderful thing to know that someone going through the transformation of working inside of Axon, but also enjoying some of the extracurricular activities that we provide our staff, our team, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that gives, and we've got a couple of staff that carpool together and things like that. And I found even those guys, traveling from work, talking about the book that we're reading at the moment. When some of our team have gone through some really tough things recently. We've had family members pass away. We've had breakups, we've had kids sick, we've had so much go on, but it's really like I love the way our team just really
comes
we
together.
come together and support each other. But it's also been great to see how much the team have been resilient as well, and to come from a place of gratitude and empathy and it's been amazing to see everyone come together.
Yeah, it's bloody brilliant indeed. And I mean, talking about the Axon family, what else I've loved seeing recently as last night again, the Axon family continues to grow because there's so many clients that have had a child over the last 18 months. They're pregnant with a child, with a new child sort of coming their way, or certainly like trying to get pregnant. So, the Axon extended family is certainly coming our way as well. So yeah, it's very, very, very great to see. Like even last night when I was talking to some clients, she had like a little throw rug over her belly. She goes, well, and the family's growing soon. And she didn't show me her belly, by the way, but like, I was like, hey, that's bloody great, Haley. Fantastic to see. So yeah, it's really good how that sort of family spirit, I feel as if it's really in the air at the moment. I think there's probably 20 or so clients that have had it with us or are pregnant and will have one this year. That we're currently speaking to as far as that goes. So yeah,
we do get excited in the office when we call them the Axon babies. We've got like a bunch of babies. We're like, oh, another Axon
How
baby.
good is that? James has just said Caitlin's now ahead of me in the book, but she won't give away anything. Brother, there's no spoilers. You might live together, but you've got to read the book. You can read it together, but as long as you've got your own sort of stuff there. Sammy Wynn said, I'd love to talk to you guys more about how you find out how you guys have built such a strong team dynamic. It's something I'm desperately craving for with my work team. The first thing that springs to mind, Sammy, is jump on YouTube and listen to a guy by the name of Simon Sinek. Sinek, Simon Sinek. When you're talking about empathetic and understanding leadership, and we're talking about workplace culture, and we're talking about just feeling together as a team. And don't get me wrong, please. Axon as a whole, and I as the leader, as the director of the firm, and Tamara as the boss of the firm. Let's not fuck that up one little bit. We are still perfectly imperfect at having the best team culture, and because there's this small little thing called other humans that work in your business. Other humans are driven by different things. You know how we have the 4 love languages or 5 love languages? I don't even know how many they are. That they are. That's how I'm right into this stuff, right? But the love languages that everyone has, everyone like they get their buttons are pressed in a certain way by a certain action. When you've got 15 staff, Sammy, you've then got to find out what their love language is at work. How you provide feedback to one person will certainly not be received and responded and acted upon with the second person. So our job as leaders is to try and understand and try and get that person to drop the mask, or we need to peer through whatever barrier they've got up to understand what really makes them tick. So then we can adopt a certain persona, or what I call about successful leaders are really good at being a chameleon. And I'm not talking about changing your spots, far from it. You never compromise on who your character and authenticity is. But the way I speak to you, Tammy, and the way I give you feedback, my wife or not, will be completely different about the way I do it with James, or completely different the way I do it with Fran.
I think you were more talking about DISC as well.
That too, yeah.
The DISC profiling, which we've done with the team as well, talks about what kind of personality type you are, and the way, say, a dominant, or is it like a dominant for D might be against
intuitive for I. Yep. Compassion and all that sort of stuff. Yep.
Yeah. Creativity. So compliant. I'm like getting all confused listening to talking about it now, but basically there's some that like you can't speak to them, those people, in the same way as you would talk to another person. So like one type of personality, they want facts. They want, like, they don't need the fluff. They don't need the please and thank yous. They just need, what's the information? Need it now. Let's get it going. Whereas if you spoke to another personality like that, they're like, rude prick.
Why are you attacking me?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not, mate. I'm giving you clear direction and guidance. There's a difference.
Like, yeah, please, Jesus.
Do you know what? And another classic example of this, we had one of our clients, their driveway was poured and their house was handed over, but literally the day before the driveway dried, someone put some footprints, 2 footprints on the driveway, and then it hardened, and then the tenants moved in, and that's been an ongoing issue for the last few months. And we've eventually got to the point whereby the builder's like, all right, cool. Yes, I can see. They're like, oh, it wasn't there on handover. Someone must have done it afterwards. Like you can put fucking imprints in concrete after it's been after it's dried, whatever. But then we had actual photos of the practical completion inspection report whereby the house had not been completely handed over, and the prints were, when you zoom in, you can still see them. And the builder's like, all right, cool. 2 choices. We can pay the client a few $1,000s, or we can get it fixed for them. Now Angie's like, yes, so I'm going to go back to these clients, and I'm like, they're going to be stoked that they're going to get a few $1,000s, and I'm like, actually, from what I know about those ladies, they won't want a few $1,000s. They want the driveway fixed. And she's like, really? Like it's a generous sum of money that they're offering. I'm like, but here's the thing, Ange. They've got plenty of money. They don't give a fuck about a few $1,000s. They will want the driveway fixed forever. Sure enough, she comes back. She goes, let's have a bet. I'm like, fuck, I go your hardest, mate. I don't give a fuck what the outcome is. I just want the clients to be happy. Sure enough, she's like, you bastard, you won. I'm like, no, I just happen to know the client better than what you do. So very interesting.
That is, it's so true. And, when you do have your heart feeling into something as well, like, if it was an investment property, I probably would be the same and be like, the money, whatever, that can stay like that. But in our dream home that we're building, if I had 2 big footprints on I can tell you now, it's not staying like that.
Oh, so of course. No, I should have said, Tammy, this is an investment property, not someone's own home. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go back a little bit. Amana Lewis has said, my love languages are wine and chocolate. Well, I don't know whether that's written in literature somewhere, but I know that giving of gifts is definitely a love language.
It is.
And whatever touch things may occur after said wine and chocolate have been confused. Let's not sort of delve into an R-rated show here. That's another love language as well. So I don't, maybe there's a few different ones you're talking to us about there. What's that?
So you have read the book?
Oh, I still don't know whether there's 4 or 5. James Wilkinson said we have a few in the office who have multiple personality. Luke's quite rightly said money doesn't drive everyone. Beck, good to see you, buddy. This profile is an awesome way to get to know your team and how to adjust your own approach to get the best from working relationships. That's pretty much what I said, but that's just said in a way more professional. Way. Thank you so much.
So as Robbie said, we have moved into rental for now.
Yep.
Well, our house is still not built. Let's not talk about that though. But
we absolutely talk about it because there's 100 others that we're building, 4 others that are fucking way behind as well. So,
yes, my background won't be a sliding door and reflective mirrors and with the dishwasher beeping, because this weekend we're going to build my desk. You're going to
someone from Airtasker is coming over to build your desk. That's
if anyone doesn't know this, Robbie is like anti-flat pack, anti-tools. He literally came to the relationship with an ice cream container with a hammer, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a wrench. And I have power tools.
It's all right.
I've even got a jigsaw now.
It's not my thing. It's not my thorn. I saw my dad work way too hard for way many hours for way too late at night, out the back fixing bloody trucks, as Mum said, and anti-mechanical too. I'm not saying I'm not mechanical. I just saw my dad toil away with it for years and years. And I'm like, I'm fucking not going to do that. So it's just, I've turned off that part of my brain. And now I've turned on another part of my brain, which says, I don't know how to do that. I'll pay some other fucker to do it. Hey, buddy, if you got 10 minutes, there's $50. Go do that for me, please. And it gets done way better whilst I can focus on something else over
No,
here. Which
actually, I do it. I do the flat packs.
Yeah, well, this in general, if you're not here, I'll get someone else to do it for me. What else to say? CJ Wynn says one love language leads to another, leads to the Axon babies. Well, mate, it's funny. There's this small little thing in the world called BackRubs. I've got a sore back, darling. Can you give my back a rub? And I'm convinced that has added to the population around the world when said in the 1,000 languages that exist. So, and so what Luke said, like what's happening with the delays, as we're talking about, I've got it here written on, of course, we're going to fucking talk about this tonight. When the driveway gets done as part of the overall landscaping package, right? So I was just thinking then that the majority of the delays. So right now, ladies and gents, if you are in the final stages of having your house finished, and you know the final bit of your practical completion, literally before the bank pays the practical completion phase, so we can now start to work towards handover. Guess what? The biggest issue has been so far, especially up here in Queensland, over the last, let's call it 2 months. Rain. Guess what can't be done in the rain? Landscaping and digging and put mud fucking everywhere. Unless you want a bloody a mud pit out the front of your house, then of course that's what's been going on. So landscaping in general, from what the guys have told me, that certainly that's been the biggest delay.
It's not just that. So we're up to render at our place, and for the last 2 months they haven't been able to do anything because it's been too wet,
too moist in the air.
Yeah, roofers can't get up on the roof. Just so many delays. Like, yes, it's fine if it's gotten to a stage where it's sort of enclosed and it's like they're in fixing stage or whatever, and everything's waterproof and it's good to go inside, then they can obviously do a little bit more. But yeah, it's so many delays, and there's already delays. Floods and all the rain and all these things, that the natural disasters as well. The insurers are now paying triple the money to steal all the trades, steal all the supplies from everyone else. And just normal builders are just, really, really struggling to find trades, to find materials. Crazy times.
But the market continues to go up like I've never seen it. Like every single end of build coaching that I've been doing, every single client has a capacity. They've all got 150 grand worth of equity or so in the house that they have built with us over the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
And every single one of those clients that I speak to, they're like, yeah, it was really, and this is in broad terms. And I apologize, I'm not speaking to anyone in particular. Let me caveat this. But in broad terms, they're like, yeah, it was disappointing when I got another phone call saying that there's another construction delay and another one. And I got really frustrated sometimes as well. But now that it's finished, and now that I've got a revaluation of the property done and we're a few weeks past it, I don't really care anymore. Like, let's just close the book and move on. And they're actually glad that their portfolio is sitting in a much better net position than what they would have ever thought. So for those of you that are still in the build and perhaps experiencing some of that right now, as the famous saying goes, this too shall pass. Guess what? When you close your eyes and blink him a few more times, the house will be completed and the tenants will be in there and they'll get another valuation done, and you'll close that chapter of your book and go, that was fucked. And let's hope we don't ever do that again. But shit, have a look at how much far we are now ahead of our portfolio financial goals.
Well, as you're saying that, we've actually had a few handovers and a few clients lately who have gone through some pretty full-on delays, but they want to go again. Like, they're ready to go again.
Yep.
And no, because you said, I don't want to do that. Let's hope we don't do that again. But
let's hope we don't have to go through those delays again. But yes, let's go build another house.
They don't care though. They're ready to go again, because even though they haven't had the easiest experience, they're like, well, it was still worth it in the end to look at where we're at. It's been amazing to see, and especially clients that have done a couple with us already. So they've done one that was super easy. This was before COVID. It was a house built in 4 or 5 months, and it was that was the easiest thing ever. And then this one might have taken a year, to build, and they're like, but and they're obviously experiencing it differently because they know how good it was before.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just looking on the screen here as I see Jai Simmons is there. He's like, hey, sounds like I got landscaping at the right time to keep a handover. Mate, absolutely. And I see that you've got about $100 more extra for rent than what we forecast when you first took the property off the market. So there's an extra $5,000 per year straight away coming in, buddy. So it's so good that happens.
Awesome.
So what we're seeing at the moment, like the majority of coaching builds that I'm doing at the end there, I'm like, all right, let me explain this little concept to you, John and Mary, that I haven't explained to you yet. Because when you came to me with some cash, this wasn't part of the conversation. So because you've now got equity in your portfolio, there's a difference between total equity and available equity. Do you know what that difference is? And the majority of the time they look at me and they're like, oh, I've heard of the term before. Is this what it means? I'm like, no, that's not quite right. Let me take you through it now. And when I show them that they can grow their portfolio once the numbers are checked by Deb, so the structure is they can grow their portfolio and they can buy another house and they don't have to touch the 30, 40 grand of extra cash they've got sitting in their offset account, which would not be enough to go and buy another place. You just see them. It's one of the things. One of the couples will sit back and be really, really happy, and the other one will be like, "Really? Can we do that?" I'm like, "I'm showing you how to grow a portfolio. I showed you how to establish the portfolio when we first met. Now we're going to grow and expand your portfolio." And then, of course,
it's in a safe and measured way. It's not like, those books that are like, buy 24 properties in the first year and I don't know, the crap that you see out there.
That is definite crap. I don't know if I've seen a book that says that exactly, but I get what you're talking about.
There's a few out there that have got a lot of their numbers are like in the hundreds.
Yeah. That was many years ago when the very tight lending restrictions weren't above us. So it's just really, really good. And I know Deb loves the fact that she can crunch the numbers on clients that now want to see what the position of their portfolio is that may or may not include an immediate valuation on their current property. So it's great to see that happening. And what I am looking here on the screen right now is if you think that we've been productively busy with our 21 client calls on Zoom calls, our at least 1 hour of each call between last fortnight and this fortnight. The amazing Deb, the mortgage broker, I wanted her to come and join us tonight. And when I said that to her, she's like, I need a break from the screen, Robbie. And as soon as I said that, I'm like, oh, you fucking idiot. Why did you ask her? Because of what I'm about to tell you. She is a two-person business with her and her amazing superstar assistant, Kylie. They've just written the most amount of business they have ever done. And Deb's been a mortgage broker for over 12 years. So she's been, doing this a long time. They've just had their biggest month ever. And effectively in the last month or so, I can see 3, 4, 21, 30, there's almost 40 finance approvals in the last month alone. That is fucking unbelievable. So there's 40 people that were wondering if this was for them, was wondering if they were going to be able to get their finance approved. All the work about getting pay slips, all the work about going back and forth with the banks, all the works about getting a return to work letter, how much your childcare costs are. Getting finance approved has never been harder, and it is a massive PITA, pain in the ass. But when you get to that point where the bank, it does, give you full finance approval, and Deb's got the better part of 40 of them, as I can count them one by one over the last month or so, 4 or 5 weeks. What a huge effort.
Oh,
so she is exhausted at the moment. And if she's taking longer than normally to get back to you, please that's my fault. I've asked her to work on some very high priority files. But here's the thing. The 2 times of the year, ladies and gents, where we get ground rush, that's a parachuting term, right? Where you're coming down, you're like, I've got heaps of time, bang, you hit the ground really fast. That's called ground rush because you from the vertical, you've got no depth perception. End of financial year, of which we're fast approaching, and the end of the calendar year, where everyone just wants to close the year off come the 17th, 18th of December, whatever it is. So Deb's got to get all these finance approvals in and approved, ready for land settlement, all now within the next 20 or 29 days. And there's about another dozen or so that she'll get on top of the 40 or so that she's just done, between now and that time. So it is an absolute superhuman effort. Jake and Olivia there, I see we got finance approval for unconditional less than 24 hours from submission through to from Deb. So,
and the thing with Deb as well, she's so experienced now with all of the defense clients. Like, she understands the unique pay structures and deployments, or going overseas, or the entitlements that they get. The way to read the pay slips, like just certain things like that. And she's been able to, go back to the banks and say, actually, you're reading that wrong. That's not correct. Blah, blah, blah. Like, she's on the defense members' side as well, and able to, because she knows this so well, she's able to explain it to the banks and show them, no, that's before tax, or no, this is like, she's amazing at what she does, but also to have someone that's so dedicated and have that unique understanding for the defense community. That is why the defense community love her. Like, she's just able to do things by understanding and taking the time and learning herself, that, if you went to just a standard mortgage broker, or even worse, to the bank, then they're probably not going to understand your situation as well.
Yeah, so it's so well said, Tammy. It absolutely is, and she gets teary and emotional, and in the name of extreme gratitude, very, very quickly, as soon as we start to talk about this, when she told myself and the other guys that I sit with on a Wednesday to go through stuff. So we're talking Damo, we're talking Simo, etc. We basically sat down and went, like, what's going on with everyone in the finance land. When she told us that she'd written, like, this is the amount of loans that she'd written and the dollar figure that comes with it. It's not my place to say in the tens of millions of how much that is, but it's a fucking lot. And then I was like, stop there. I basically banged on the door, didn't I, babe? I'm like, oi, get everyone in here right now. And we basically had, the whole 15 of us around the sort of the Zoom call there in our boardroom, saying congratulations to her. And she was incredibly grateful. And I know when you are watching the replay here, Deb, thank you so much again for everything that you do. I know you say every time, oh, I'm the one that's grateful, Axon. Thank you for all the clients. I'm like, no. You are the best mortgage broker that's ever been a mortgage broker and ever will. Without you, we would not be sitting here right now. So it's so bloody phenomenal. So whoever that was, James, I think, thank you for prompting me to say something, buddy.
Yeah, and speaking of that, what Sammy was sort of asking before, that is something we are really good at Axon, is celebrating wins. We've got this little Chinese sort of gong in the office that we bang on, and whenever it gets gonged, everyone stops what they're doing, comes into a huddle, and we'll share some news about, something amazing that's happened with one of our clients.
Three times, Tammy. Do you know the three? Of course you do. Success package, finance approval, and tenant found. So the coaches get to do one, the property specialists get to do one, and the build support get to do one. So the whole business is involved.
Yes, and the marketing team do them for random, exciting things. We've currently gone viral. Well, we think it's viral on TikTok, but
20,000 views is pretty viral for this.
Yeah. So that is something I'm really proud of that we do. We also celebrate each other on a Friday. We give each other shout outs and talk about what we've been grateful for, and how each other have helped each other out. And we've got little jars on our desks that we write our shout outs in there, and pop the note in the jar, and then at the end of the year you got a jar full of little love notes from your colleagues.
Yes. No dick pics. No dick cartoons.
Non-fraternization love notes, but
that's what you're trying to say.
It's actually really beautiful, and I think that has really helped with building such a strong team as well. Is that gratitude and celebrating wins and all those little 1% practices that you can do. So it's not really, anything huge that we do, but it's all those little 1%ers. Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah,
run.
James, that's a good one.
I
Talk
do
about that, Tammy.
run a morning meditation twice a week to zen everybody out and make sure stress levels and mental health is all good. So we just do like a 10 or 15-minute meditation that I find online, and a lot of them we like doing positive affirmations and things like that, and just getting everyone into the right mindset. All those little 1%ers, I think, is how we've developed such a good team.
But the meditation you're not talking about is sitting there going hum hum like it's not that shit, right? It's not that that's shit either, by the way. But it's not a chanting meditation. It's a silent meditation, listening to someone talk and just being in your own space and clearing out the clutter.
Yeah. Some of them, it might make you think about some sort of visualization for 10 minutes, so it clears your mind. Other ones, it gets you talking about, positive things like, I am statements, things like that. And others, they've all varied. And what we're doing is we're just kind of at the end of it, we go, what did we like about that? Let's find more that are along that direction, or we didn't like that. But we're having a really great journey with that. And I think adding just those little practices, we've got a lot of veterans in our business, and mental health is obviously something that's really huge to us. So those kind of things, having gratitude, having mindfulness, having meditations, having celebrating wins, all this positive, like keeping positive, or not even just keeping positive, but keeping balanced. Not letting the pendulum swing too far negative when things are rough, like keeping centered when things aren't going right. Things like that have really, I guess, it keeps the team focused and united, and but it also looks after their mental health, and that's something that we're really passionate about.
One of the things I've been reading lately, just listening to back and forward to on the way to work, is this thing called leading with character. Was it say 10 minutes a day to a brilliant legacy? So if you're in enough, ladies and gents, have a quick look at that right now. Just write that down, take a photo of your screen, whatever it is looking there. I'll move my face out of the way. There I am again. Now I am. I'm the magic man. Now you see me. Now you don't. So leading with character is a fucking awesome book. I'm about halfway through it right now, and it's got some really, really good stuff on there. Yes, it's an American voice. Yes, listen to it at 1.3, so it sounds like an Aussie, or a little bit more like it anyway. But it's a good book to sort of get all that stuff that you were talking about there, Tammy, under your belt. Let's go back through our things here. What did she say? Sammy wins. She's amazing. Nothing goes unanswered. She's onto it. No matter what time of day or night you send a text or an email, she'll reply. We got what Jake and Olivia said. Zachy Jordan, good to see you online, buddy. Crushing it. Such a good crew. Such a nice way to start the way. I sit in my window, the best. Yeah, lovely. And then there you go, leading with character. You are so onto this, Soph. There's a classic example of someone who is a civvy. You may have seen her on some of our TikToks answering some of our BBDA acronym sort of stuff. You are all over at Sophie Grove. So thank you so much for doing that, buddy. That was not – this whole chat is unpolished. You can all see that. But like, it's unscripted, even though I've got a couple of notes about a few things I want to talk about: Top Gun, Axon babies, landscaping, etc., etc. So there is
know about those.
some structure to what the day is talking about. I didn't know I was going to talk about that then. So well done, Soph. I'm bloody finding that so quickly. All right, we've got about 10 minutes to go, ladies and gents. I am going to finish 5 minutes early tonight because I'm on again straight after this, and I do need a 5 little mental health break in the meantime. So I was
and to fill up the water bottle that you brought in, an empty water bottle.
Fucking empty, which is actually your water bottle, no less.
Thanks.
Hit us with your questions, ladies and gents. What's going on in your world from a from a property sense, I actually had a bloody awesome podcast today with a good mate of mine who was didn't help me. He was running the electronic warfare SIG int capability with me down south. So yeah, his name's Clint Hines. You'll see that podcast come out real soon. And him and I had a good chat like I normally do about where'd you grow up, why'd you join the military, did you have any family history, what was it like at Kapuka, what did you do in your career, when did you have that little moment where you went, I don't want to be in the military anymore, this place is not for me. And then of course he decided to just from his family upbringing and entrepreneurship and dad running a multiple set of businesses, he basically moved into the real estate game up here in the Gold Coast, and he's now the principal of his own real estate firm and an absolute superstar Top Gun veteran entrepreneur in his own right, which has not been fucking easy or given to him on a platter in any way, shape or form. But we spoke about some really, really, I will save it for the podcast. Again, I didn't know I was going to speak about this now, but if you are in the military and you're listening to this and you are, I'll get to that in a minute, dog. If you're in the military right now and you're sort of having some of those feelings about getting out at some stage, please listen at least to the last 5 or 10 minutes that myself and Clint talk about. It'll give you a real insight into some of the things that are important when you get out and some of the things that don't fucking matter one little bit. So we had a really, really good chat there. And there was one particular, here we go, Sammy Wynn, challenge for you and you too, old mate. Her mate, your mate, the mate. There's one line in the movie. Don't listen to the podcast first. There's one line in the movie, the Top Gun movie, which is so important to what we spoke about at the end of our little podcast session. And I'd love to know if you guys can pick what it was. So it's a really, really powerful one. Paul Cooney, what did you replace? Say again?
I haven't seen the new movie yet.
I know, but when they do, they'll be like, what fucking line is he referring to?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. I'm giving you 2 little cliffhangers, ladies and gents. What were they talking about at the end of the podcast, which matters so much that you get under your belt, and some of the shit that doesn't really matter at all, which you also need to know. And, of course, then we spoke about something in the movie that we've both seen. Paul Cooney, great to see you, brother.
Speaking of Clint, it was funny because a couple of years ago when Robbie and I were trying to find a block of land to build our dream home on, we ended up at an auction and Clint had walked up to you as we were standing there watching the auction and said hello. And I said to you, are you serious? We can't go anywhere without you running into someone from the military. And that is like, it blows my mind. We can be in a cinema in Brisbane. We can be in LAX. We can be in London town. We can be in freaking anywhere. And you will run into someone you know from the military. Like Sydney Airport. How many times do we run into someone in Sydney Airport? Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Crazy.
Sammy, I promise you, just watch the movie and it will jump out at you at the right time and it'll be there for a little while. It won't be like a fucking 1 second little off the cuff little one line. It'll be like, motherfucker, how was I ever going to get that? When you see it, you'll know what I mean. So we'll just leave it at that, right? Okay. Paul Dog Cooney, what did you replace the Barb Black Jeep with? And did you lease the new wheels? Mate, we replaced the Barb Black Jeep with a Kia Sorento, which is also black.
That we ordered last May.
Yes, that we did order a long time ago. Last March, and then yes. So it took a long time to come Kia from Korea. But they do call it the Axon Venga bus. So it's not, I didn't buy it, mate, to replace the Barb V8 SRT Jeep. It's more of a Venga bus as they put forward there. It's a 7-seater, so the team can go wherever they need to go and do their site surveys and TikTok videos and key handovers and all that sort of stuff. Mate, we did decide to lease the vehicle. So we basically sat with our accountant and we went, all right, we got 70 grand cash set aside. We could either go buy this vehicle straight out or should we go through a lease process? And he's like, well, in 2 years' time when the lease is finished, it's going to end up the same. But he goes, you've got 70 grand extra in your bank account, or you can go spend 70 grand extra on marketing, or you can do so many extra things with that 70 grand lease, or you can just go get like a 70 grand cash, or you can just go get like a 1.5% lease. And I was like,
I think you could claim something on the monthly payment.
Whatever he said. So yeah, we decided, and don't take this as gospel, mate. Actually, one of the things which is rearing its head on a few of the coaching calls I'm doing is when we're talking about the right borrowing capacity report to make sure the numbers work and we're not overstretching ourselves too far, as Tammy quite rightly pointed out about half an hour or so ago, is that banks seem to really dislike salary sacrifice leases. I've had one before, and that was for the Barp Jeep back in the day. And you're like, oh, sweet, I can get free fuel, I can get free tires, I can get free maintenance, and I got everything's bloody, like, it ain't fucking free for starters. You just don't pay for it when you're bloody swiping the card. And when you do add it all up, it costs, in my opinion, it cost me a lot more than what I needed to. And because you only get a certain budget for all those particular outgoings per year anyway. And then there was a big balloon at the back end, which I had to fucking pay out 28 grand, which wasn't nice at the time. But the banks really dislike the pre-tax and post-tax arrangement that some of the RemServe, ComServe, fucking salary sacrifices have. So yeah, there you go. I've had one. It was a nightmare to get out of. It absolutely is. So mate, that's what happened. Zach Jordan, quick one. Tax time. Jace reaching out to us, or are we actioning that on our end? So Zach, we're depending on where you're up to in the process, buddy. We did one of these sessions with Jace Cosgrove about a month ago. Noah, can you please quickly, while we've got another 5
I think
minutes?
he's talking about for his own tax.
I know that. Hang on a second. Boom. Sorry, that's not even Noah. Thank you, Sophie. You are a legend. What we said there is that if you have already been in contact with Jace, he will contact you. But and I guess what that comes around to is that you're inside his OODA loop, or you'll be on his call list. But if you're Zach, if you're just getting to a point where you're only just getting your property right now, there'll be no write-offs for this property that you're about to build, because you only get those tax write-offs when the property becomes available for rent, and it won't be finished for about another year, and that's about another year. So, you will be able to do your normal work-related income tax return with him. So if you haven't been introduced to him, as per those details that Sophie's just placed on there, you should reach out to him proactively and go, hey, I'm one of Axon's clients. I haven't been introduced to you yet, Jace. I haven't started my build yet. I hear you're fucking awesome. Let's do tax.
Yes.
Or words to that effect. Or if you say exactly that, he'll be totally fine with that as well.
And he's very good, and that is why he does our taxes. He does a lot of the team's taxes. He does so many of our clients' taxes, and he, as well as that, he does financial advice. He's a financial advisor as well as an accountant, and there's a reason that we choose to use him. We put our skin in the game because we trust him so much. He's fantastic with defense and veterans, and this similar to what I said about Deb with understanding the defense stuff. He's very good at understanding defense claims and things like that. But that link there that Sophie's put up, that tax time one, it does have the checklists, I believe. Mm-hmm. So there's one for personal income tax, individual tax return. There's one for property
related expenses
tax.
Yep.
And then there's also a defense one as well. So some bits and pieces that defense can claim that civvies can't. So worth having a check out if you haven't for that one. And the tax time prep Q&A.
Yep.
Yes.
But Zach, if you are, sorry, mate, now you said that, I do know your circumstances, but if you are proactive, if you've got all your stuff, if you're basically lined up, ready to go, say, bang, come 1st of July, come at me, Jace, let's do tax. Get in his calendar, mate. Reach out to him. Otherwise, he'll be like, all right, if you like the rest of the population who get 9 months down the track, and he's like, you need to fucking get your taxes to me, otherwise you're going to miss out. like if you're going to be that proactive, then reach out to him, mate. Get in his calendar. It won't hurt you. So, what else have we got on there? Jace is a genius. Jace is a boss, etc., etc. All right, that's it. I need a quick little 5-minute break. Thank you so much for everyone that joined us again tonight. Follow us on TikTok. Oh yeah, there you go. Finding your best life after transition. So if you're just like, listen to this, watch this. This is who we are. Boom, boom, boom. Tick, 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 tock. Bang. I'm out of here. See you later, everyone. See you in a fortnight's time. We will have a special guest next fortnight. I don't know who it is yet, but it's going to be good. See you later.
I think it's Angie.
Probably. That's what.